Hello everyone, welcome back to another video talking to yourself. And today is another video about a movie I just watched about 3 hours ago. Cocaine Bear, my thoughts. So before I play, as usual, spoiler alert. Not that there's anything to spoil, to be honest. Pretty straightforward kind of film. But anyway, 3, 2, 1, spoiler alert. And as many of you know, I like to play the trailer behind while I talk over the movie. Speaking about trailers, because of this trailer that kind of, I suppose, took the world by storm, right? Um, I love creature feature films. I remember back in the kind of the 80s to maybe the mid 90s, you had a lot of creature features. So I kind of missed that. And but back then, I remember some creature feature had the really kind of stupid ones, which I used to love when I was a kid. And I have to remember that in the 90s, it kind of got a bit more serious. Well, to try to make it serious anyway. So I kind of missed creature features. So this one was loosely, I emphasize the word loosely, based on a true incident that happened back in 1985, where the bear who ingested a kilo worth of cocaine, and I think the bear died overdose. Of course, I mean that much cocaine ingested, and the premise itself is funny. I'm just surprised it hasn't. No one really thought about making this film. Well, they know. The film itself is directed by Elizabeth Banks. Never been really big fan of her movies. The last film she did was Charlie's Angels, and I don't remember finishing the film because that film was just rubbish. And then again, the film was really woke, and some of her interviews, like how it did so bad in the box office, she kind of blamed men being sexist and not watching it. I mean, of course, film's gonna flop if you're gonna say things like that, right? And you can't. I mean, this film itself. I mean, it's totally like the other side of the spectrum, you know. So this film is a kind of horror, creature feature, comedy. Um, some parts are really funny. It's gruesome. No, it's definitely pretty violent. So it's got a lot of blood, a lot of severed legs and arms and wrists, and the way some people die are pretty funny. The cast, I love the cast. Beginning, you have like two hitchhikers, not hitchhikers, two hikers from Norway, I think. One of them played by Christoph, can't pronounce his name. He plays a ginger guy in Game of Thrones, the big beard. And yeah, anyway, and then of course the bear attacks his soon to be wife or something like that. This film was, I would say, is good. To be honest, from the trailer itself, I kind of got what I wanted. I knew it wasn't going to be no Oscar performance, no brain tingling message or anything like that, which is great. I think that Elizabeth Banks kind of got the message that you can't put too much agenda messaging across in the films, or at least do not kind of like criticize, calling men sexist for not watching a film like she said during Charlie's Angels. But this one is short, about 90 minutes long, straight to the point. There's a few issues, just like I think overall Elizabeth Banks directing, she still has pacing issues. There's some, I mean, for 90 minutes, it felt a little bit longer. I mean, there's some scenes where it kind of dragged. There was kind of unnecessary dialogue. Some jokes didn't really land that well. There's some pretty cool characters now. Ray Liotta, I think this is his last film, and he did a pretty good job. Nice. Plays like the main sort of bad guy. I mean, I don't really blame him, to be honest. He's a drug dealer. He has an answer to the Colombians, and try to get the drug back. If not, the Colombian will kill his own family. So he has a good reason to get the drug back. I mean, to kind of protect himself and stuff like that. And the kids are great. I think the little kid who plays Henry, Christian something, I think he stole the show. I like his character, I really did. Do you know this, the good parts is when it's gruesome, it's actually really gruesome. Like I mentioned earlier, I think there's some pacing issues. It got boring in certain parts, then you kind of heated up, and then some really good parts. I was watching, I was thinking, enough of these kind of getting to know each other. I wanted to see the bear. I wanted to see the bear kill more people. There's, I think, the best bit where the park ranger went back to the sort of like her shop or her office. And those teenage kids are there, and then there's a funny bit where the kids try to mug Ice Cube's son. Can't remember his name. Is O'Shea Jackson, because they know he's also there to. He works for Ray Liotta's Ray Liotta's character. You know, he's been tasked to go up there with Aiden. I forgot his surname. The guy who played Han Solo in the Solo movie. He's Ray Liotta's son in the film, to go up there and get the drugs back. Telling that they park up in this the sheriff's or the park ranger's office and shop, and then these three teenagers try to mug him. You know, but of course, O'Shea Jackson beats them all up. Anyway, cut the long story short is that the ranger comes back because there's a bit where the mother of one of the kids, Dee Dee, you know, the kids went off to do some sort of painting of the waterfall or something like that. They went off and then beat the. There's a funny bit as well. I'm going all places here. The girl Dee Dee finds like a brick of cocaine, and you know, little boy is saying, "Oh, I know cocaine. I've tasted it before." You know, I'm meant to be like 12, 13 years old, and they got the little knife out, and the little kid, you know, picks it up like almost like a spoonful. They put it in their mouth and things like that. So I was like, wow, they actually did that. You know, normally I was thinking, you know, they got the spoonful of cocaine about to put in the mouth, and then suddenly the bear comes out. But they didn't do that. They actually let the kids actually put it in their mouth. I don't know, fair play to them to spit it out straight away. But still, I thought, wow, that's a bold move. You know, letting actually kids. We all know it's not cocaine, of course, but you know, just filming it. I was like, wow, they actually did that. So that's a bold move. And then they was getting attacked, and then yeah, you know. So the mother comes in. Mother played by Kerry Russell comes in, goes to the park ranger, and there's also this sort of guy with a really 1980s haircut, mustache, you know, very environmental, kind of one of those characters. And so they go up and search. That's where they meet the bear. There's the guys went up the tree, and the kid goes, "Do bears climb?" And then they say, "Yes, it does climb." Well, why are you up the tree for? And the bear chases after him because he's got all cocaine on him, rips him to shreds. And when they land, you can see the severed leg, and the bear goes over there and sniffs the cocaine off the leg. I thought that's funny. I think there's scenes like that, and then the scene back into where the sheriff's office, where the park ranger was getting prepared to get the bullets, and when the bear opens, and the park ranger is such a bad shot, blows the other kid's head off. That was funny. So those scenes were really good. I found it kind of gruesome, but it was fun at the same time. And I actually wanted more of those scenes because it got to the point where I didn't really care too much about the people. I mean, there were funny characters, and you had the police detective, and you know, going there, and so on. All great characters, and I felt sometimes there were scenes lasted a bit too long. I actually wanted to see the bear. I wanted to see a bear attack them, get into the kind of pickle situation, how to get out. Also, I thought the ending was a bit of a almost anticlimactic. You know, I know, spoiler alert, the bear survives because in the real story the bear dies, of course, and that was a twist. I actually thought the bear was going to die or somehow, but the bear survives. I think in a way that the producer and director wanted to make the bear kind of like anti-hero, that you kind of like the bear, and you know it did work. I did like the bear. Yeah, it's you know it's the apex predator that went crazy because it's a man-made thing. You know, we made cocaine and we dropped it and the bear ate it and we went crazy. So technically, the bear's innocent, really, right? When you think about it. And you know, I enjoyed the bear, kind of like the star of the show, and I was happy that the bear survived. And yeah, I thought that the ending would have been a bit better. You know, more killing. I know it sounds weird, but I want to see more of that kind of killing because it was funny when the bear attacked. Anyway, that's my thoughts, and I thought it was really good. Definitely for February, there's really not much. Last week did a video on Ant-Man, which I gave it 5 out of 5. The more I think about it, I'll probably drop it down to 4 out of 10. And that was a bit of a letdown, to be honest. So this was actually a good film. I actually enjoyed it for what it is. I love creature features. I want them to come back. It's nothing too, story driven acting. It's not going to win any Oscars. I'll tell you that now. But it's a fun film. Slow in paces. Like I said, I wanted to see more of the bear in action, killing more people, because I thought it was fun. I really enjoyed that. I'll give this probably a 6 out of 10 for what it's worth. Enjoyed it. Definitely recommend it to you all. Go and check it out. And like I say, thank you everyone for watching. And please do subscribe for more talking geeky stuff. Until next time. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are in the world. And please stay safe. Goodbye.